Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time around, it is another thoughts on, and I am going to be sharing my thoughts on a short found footage experimental film this time around. Now, before I get around to sharing more of my thoughts on this video, I want to give a special shout out to Martin for requesting this review. And if there's another film, TV show, or topic that you would like to see me discuss in the future, feel free to donate to my PayPal. The link will be in the video description down below, and I'll try to get to it as soon as I possibly can. Now, this short video was ultimately something that I wasn't the biggest fan of, to be perfectly honest, but I did find it interesting, and it reminded me of when I was back in college and I was taking film classes, and I would watch the creations and the products that were created by other students in the class. And that was a fun time, and it was interesting. It was an intriguing experiment to watch. But I'm pretty sure Martin wants me to be honest here and provide some constructive criticism or honest criticism. And the reason why I wasn't super big on this video or this project is because there's not much here in terms of a plot or a narrative or characters. There's really not much to be engaged with. It starts off intriguing enough with the idea of this mysterious videotape being left behind in a camera in an abandoned orphanage, and you're watching what's on the tape. I mean, that's a good setup for a creepy story, but what follows is just a lot of random shots, a lot of randomness that's just kind of put together. A lot of shaky cam, in all honesty, too much shaky cam. Um, that's one of my biggest criticisms when it comes to this short video is just the amount of shaky cam. It got really disorientating, and that on top of the sound editing, which was deliberately trying to be, I think it was trying to be like lo-fi and creepy and unsettling, but it was just hard to listen to with the popping and all of this other stuff. I know the video says like make sure to watch headphones, and that honestly made it even harder to listen to. That also might be the fact that I had an ear infection recently, so maybe my ears aren't really the same, and at least one of my ears, and it's just more sensitive now. But yeah, it was kind of hard to watch a lot of that. There seems like there was a bit of a build up to going to the orphanage, and there's dialogue, but it's completely unintelligible. Even with headphones, I couldn't understand anything that was being said. Maybe that was the point, but if there was something that I was supposed to hear in terms of characterization or like a plot, like a crucial plot element, I couldn't hear it. Um, but that was just my impression of what I saw and what I was hearing in that moment. Then they get these characters who I don't know who they are, and I don't know why they're going to the orphanage because I couldn't understand any of the dialogue. They go to this orphanage, and then creepy stuff happens. The camera goes from color to night vision, which was an interesting touch, and at least there's some creepy scenes. Like the last shot of the footage, I thought was actually pretty eerie, of the girl staring at the camera. I would say that's the best shot in the entire short for me. Um, but there's just a lot of other shots that are just shaky cam, moving the camera around, and then just like crazy and shaking it like it's in a bag of shake and bake, and just shooting random stuff in the abandoned orphanage, like the wall or the floor or the ceiling or all this other stuff. And that just got tedious for me after like a minute of that. Um, so it's just one of those things where I don't really know what to fully say about this video because there's not much here. There's not much here in terms of a plot or a narrative or a characterization. Um, I think it was just kind of something that was like experimental, maybe like an art project, and I'm trying to view it in that way instead of like criticizing it like I would, anything else. But it's hard because it's like even as an experimental thing, like I just kind of didn't get the point. Um, but there's clearly some love and some compassion for the project here. I can tell that this is something that was done for fun, and I don't want to be too hard on this short for that reason alone. It wasn't really intended to be something that was supposed to be great or grand or amazing or something that's along the lines of the best found footage, but for what it is, it's interesting. But it just wasn't for me. And I'll leave the video in uh the description down below so you can check it out for yourself if you want to. But yeah, it just didn't really work for me. And another thing that I just wasn't into was like how it started. It started and ended with the same footage, and I don't really understand the thought process behind that either. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those things where it's a little video that was created for fun, and there are some creepy moments, but it's just hard to watch because of the way it's edited and the way it's shot, and there's not really a narrative, so there's really not much to get involved with when it comes to that. Um, I don't know if he wanted me to talk about whether I thought it was authentic. If that's the case, trying to make this seem like it's an authentic bit of found footage, I didn't really feel that way. Because of the just overabundance of shaky cam and the uh, clear instances of sound editing that you can tell some sort of filter was used. Um, but if it was just something you made for fun and you just wanted to make a movie, I think that's great. I do. I think that's something that I do encourage people to do. If they're a fan of movies and they want to be a filmmaker, you got to go out there and just do it. And I've made some movies myself, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm some sort of master of cinema or lo-fi cinema myself, because I've directed and I made some films from my film classes that aren't the best either, and probably wouldn't be something that a lot of people would consider to be that good or that special. But I had fun making them. I enjoyed the experience of making these movies, and I think that's honestly where uh, this project is coming from. It's for that love of making something and making movies, and I think that's something that I feel is very worthwhile. And even if it's something that I ultimately don't necessarily care for, the fact that it's coming from a place of love, coming from a place of compassion, it's not something that's being made for a buck or for a cheap cash grab or anything. It's just an instance of impulse and creativity, and that's something that I am quite fond of. So even though I'm not a big fan of this footage, I am a fan of what Martin put into it, and what I believe Martin's the one that made it. If it's not, if you're not the one that created the video, then I apologize. But to whoever made the video, I am fond of seeing that love and that compassion for this medium. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this interesting uh, little video. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. See ya.